Welcome to the Global News Podcast on YouTube, where we go behind the headlines to find out more about a major story. And big news for football fans. The Portuguese superstar Cristiano Ronaldo says next year's World Cup will be his last, and it's likely that he'll retire from football altogether in the next year or two. Well, with me to discuss this is George Addo, BBC World Service football reporter, and Mimi Swaby, Global Affairs reporter. And let me start with George. Ronaldo's career has been phenomenal, but he is acknowledging that he is nearing the end of the road.
Yeah, surely. I think it's just one that we as football fans and maybe football connoisseurs were definitely looking out for. It's very close to that. He's 40 years at the moment. Surely at the next World Cup he'll be 41. And if he has any plans for, the World Cup after the next year, that's probably 45. So it just looked like definitely he was getting to the end of his career. You look at what his contributions have been on the pitch. He's not as fast as he used to be before, because at the age of 40, there's very, very little that you can do. But of course, he's been trying his best and scoring the goals as much as he can. And it's also about giving himself maybe the final chance to see if he can win the trophy that he's not been able to win, which happens to be the World Cup. When you look at the statistics at Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, you clearly see that he's on the end of scoring goals, doing more up front. But in terms of how he helps the team, all of that has come down. It's good to see him still running around and playing football, but surely this was something that we have been expecting. And not too surprised it's finally come out from him.
Do you think he's aiming for 1,000 career goals?
Yeah, clearly one of those things that we're looking at, because you look at the career itself, starting from Manchester United out to Real Madrid, moving to Juventus, back to Manchester United, and back to Saudi Arabia, where he's been scoring a lot of goals, 83 goals in 85 appearances in the Saudi Pro League alone. When you look at his tally, his goal tally for club and country, that's 950 goals. And he keeps going. That 1,000 mark is a very, very special landmark. And we know that Cristiano Ronaldo has hinted in places that is something that he's probably looking at. People who are very close to the circle know that it's something that he's looking at. Whether he'll be able to make it or not, he's giving himself the opportunity to do that. And that's why he keeps going on and on. He had actually renewed his contract with Al Nassr all the way to 2027. You're looking at just how many goals can he score. Can he get those 50 goals between now and when he decides to finally retire? I surely think that he has that in his sights. If he's able to get to 1,000 goals, he'll be really, really excited, and would like to bow on such a good note.
Absolutely. And Mimi, what's the reaction been to this announcement?
Similar to what George was saying, there's been sadness from many fans. He's played across 4 clubs now, so many clubs really see him as one of football's greats, but one of their own as well. And they've come out, the fans on social media, saying they're really sad to see his kind of career start to slow down, as again, what George was hinting to, but it hasn't come at a surprise. Questions about retirement have been increasing over recent years, and perhaps the way he's kind of dealt with the questions and in the circumstance, maybe people weren't expecting for him to announce at a tourism forum in Saudi Arabia about this really big career moment. Maybe that was going to come in the form of an on-pitch talk for many. That's what they viewed this announcement to be like. So maybe the shock of how it came about as well, fans are kind of deliberating over and chatting about. But many happy moments are being remembered and shared, and goals and things like that. But yeah, mainly happy, but with a tinge of sadness as well.
Because Cristiano Ronaldo is about a lot more than football. He's the most followed person on Instagram, and his wife even has a Netflix show.
Yes, and I am actually a big fan of that Netflix show. Soy Georgina, I Am Georgina, had 3 seasons on Netflix and was a huge success. She was the executive producer as well, which went down a storm with supporters. And the idea was to open up the couple's life, but the life of Cristiano Ronaldo, this kind of superstar in football, but give a kind of insight into his personal life as well. And it has done really well. So it's kind of gone down as being the top, one of the top shows in more than 45 countries it appeared in on Netflix. And that's just one aspect. So that is, the kind of a pop culture following for Soy Georgina, his now engaged fiance, but also as a footballer, he's got deals on and off the pitch. He has a, very successful modelling career. He has many things going for him. In Forbes recently, they said that on and off the pitch, his field earnings will be around $280 million. And that is more than double of his second place rival, Messi, for this upcoming season alone. So it gives you an idea of kind of the personality he is, both on the football field, but off it as well. And, that's probably why he's become such a global icon as well.
And he was named last month as football's first billionaire. George, next year's World Cup is going to be hosted by 3 nations, the US, Canada and Mexico. That's the first time that's been done.
Yeah, surely, and that's a very complicated World Cup, if you ask me, because you've got 3 countries, and if you look at the distances between the cities, it will be a lot for fans who want to go and watch it. It's going to be very expensive, that's for sure. And again, in terms of if you're trying to compare what we saw in Qatar, the last World Cup in 2022, where everything was centered, this is going to be very, very, very different. And we're moving up from 32 teams before to 48 teams. We are moving up from 64 matches to 104 matches. And we're talking a World Cup that's probably going to last about 39 days. So there is so much in there. Well, we used to have 4 groups of 8. We're talking 4 groups of 12. And, the top 2 are going to qualify, plus 8 others who finish as best third runners-up. And then we're going to have a round of 32 for a round of 16. So everything about this World Cup is really, really, really different. It sounds very complicated, and we're going to see how it actually plays out. But it's a huge jump from what we saw in Qatar, where everything was centered. And now it's going to be very, very interesting. So fans are going to have their own bits in terms of what they have to do. The players will have to be even more concentrated, because some players do well when they play just one-off games, and others don't do well in the camping situation. Now you're probably going to be camping about 39 days or staying in a place and keep moving around. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting. Plus, the little things about how FIFA and perhaps the US are going to deal with, visas for a lot of football fans who are going to be coming around. It's FIFA's duty to make sure that people who love football can watch, but equally it's the US of A, their duty as well to make sure that those who come to their country come there for the right reasons and do what they have to do according to their immigration rules. So we'll see how that marry to be able to have a very good tournament of course, in the US, Mexico and Canada in 2026.
Because some people are concerned about the political climate right now under President Trump. So we'll wait to see what happens with those football fans who go to the US. But Mimi, there are also concerns in Mexico about whether it will be ready in time. And the Mexican president was trying to reassure people about those concerns.
That's right. Only on Monday, Claudia Sheinbaum promised that many infrastructure projects for this World Cup will be delivered on time. Now, Mexico is going to host about 13 matches, 5 in Mexico City, and then the 8 other matches will be shared out in between Monterrey, a northern city, and Guadalajara, a western city. However, there has been controversy from start to finish with Mexico. A lot of new projects means a lot of new money. And this money is being thrown at projects, including renovations for the Azteca Stadium, which is the largest in Latin America, trying to get it up to kind of speed for this global event. That has also brought alongside it concerns that this money shouldn't be spent on stadiums. It should be spent on hospitals, infrastructure that helps civilians, Mexicans firsthand. And we've seen that there are around 200,000 people who kind of live in the shadows of the Azteca Stadium. And it's feared, are going to be kind of the first people to feel the negative effects of this World Cup. There are already concerns about water shortages and other issues with kind of infrastructure and building works happening. So there's concerns about resources, money, but also the idea that Mexico has many other issues it's trying to deal with right now. There's drug trafficking issues, crime, femicide. There's a whole host of issues. And many people are wondering, why are we spending money on a beautiful thing, but not necessary for the country right now, where many people are just trying to live safely in their homes? Claudia Sheinbaum, however, has gone against this and said this is a really special moment where we get to share who we are as Mexicans with the world. And so she's viewing it as a really positive thing. She said that it's a special time which will have significant economic impact, and she's promised that it will all be ready in a few months' time, ready to welcome in thousands and thousands of football fans and footballers alike.
And George, given Ronaldo's dedication to the beautiful game, how difficult will it be for him to retire?
Yeah, that's a brilliant question because he loves football deeply. Ronaldo is very passionate about football, and his achievements just speak for him. 143 goals in 225 appearances for Portugal. Clearly leading when it comes to the number of goals scored in international space. He's won the Ballon d'Or 5 times. He's been FIFA Best Player 3 times. He's on 950 goals. He's won the Champions League 5 times. He's won the Euros with Portugal. He won the UEFA Nations League as well with Portugal. What can you say? He's won trophies in England, in Spain, in Italy. The only blemish sometimes is in Saudi Arabia. He's struggling to win the King's Cup, which he has tried 3 times and has not been able to win. He won the Arab Gulf Cup. That is not really recognized by FIFA. The only thing left for him now is, can he win the World Cup? And I'm sure that is kindly playing on his mind. It's going to be, from what I see, it's going to be very difficult for Portugal to do that. But you never want to rule them out, especially if you think about how they won the Euro in 2016. So this is probably one of the things that he'll be hoping to do. Can he get 1,000 goals before he retires? Can he win the World Cup? And can he live the game? I think it's going to be really difficult for him to live the game, but definitely after the age of 41, at the end of the 2026 World Cup, that will become extremely tough. And I don't see him, at the World Cup after 2026, because he'll be then 45. So surely it will come to an end. But I'm sure he's hoping that in the final moments, last year and a half, he'll be hoping to get all these things done. But it will be one big goodbye to football, and I don't know how he's going to do it.
And a big loss to football too. George,
big loss.
Thank you there, George, Addo and Mimi Swaby. Thank you also. And you can also hear more of that interview on the Global News podcast. Listen wherever you download your podcasts. And if you like this episode, please subscribe to us here on YouTube and let us know what future stories or issues you'd like us to cover in the comments section.